What's good? We're early today. That never happens, but look at us. Look at us. Mics are working today?
Yes, they're
Thank
working.
God. What did I couldn't get by without Trinity, huh? I was so confident, dude. It's crazy. I was like, easy. 3 minutes in, I'm getting comments of like, hey, you're muted. I'm like, I just went through this whole spiel and I got to redo it. It's fine. We made it through. Welcome to Valley Vision. I'm Abby Alonzo. Trinity Johnson is back. She's back. You missed her. You know you did. I don't have a laptop today, so we're working with the phone. So excuse me if I keep looking down. All of my notes are here. But we've got a football game to talk about. Good God. I sweat that whole time. And there was no reason. If you, like, when I start reading off I have to sneeze. Hold on. This is terrible timing, but maybe it went away. I don't know. My eyes are watering. It's fine. The whole time I was sweating. And if you look at the box score, when I read it off, you're going to be like, that doesn't make sense. The stats are good. How did we almost go into overtime? How were we down 17-0 at one point? Beats me, but shit. I hope that was the worst game we play this season. Because if you're that bad in a performance and you can still win, I mean, the upside's there. So we'll keep the glass half full today. Before we get started, do want to shout out St. Rock Vodka. You guys already know the deal. You buy a bottle, proceeds go back to the athletes. They're the official vodka of Bayou Traditions, which is the official collective of NILSU. Support the athletes. Drink some good vodka while you do it. It's simple. I don't know what else to tell you other than you'd be doing yourself a favor. Okay, volleyball is off to a hot start. I believe they are 5-2 on the season. Last year they were 11-17 overall, and they haven't even started conference play yet. So much better start than they got last year. So it's looking pretty bright for them. Journey Robinson, you guys already know, the GOAT. She is number 2 in kills in D1 volleyball across the country. Incredible player, but their most recent game, notes are down here, that's why I'm looking at my phone, just to let everybody know. Most recent game, they played in the Baylor Invitational on Friday. They recorded double-digit blocks for the second time this season. Lainey Piles had 14 kills, which was the team high, as well as 4 blocks. Bailey Ortega had her third double-double of the year with 38 assists and 13 digs. And they will play Boston College, North Florida, and San Diego this weekend. So, support the girls. Again, they have almost an entirely new team. They clearly have some chemistry, and it's looking bright for what they're going to do this season. So excited to keep an eye on them. Soccer is also in full swing. Unfortunately, they did lose to UC Davis in a very tight match. They lost 4-3. Sage Glover, Andrea I'm going to get this wrong every time. Forgive me. Iljic? Andrea and Molly Baker had the 3 goals for the Tigers, and Adore Sheving had 3 saves and goals. So they'll actually start conference play on Thursday at Arkansas, and Arkansas is ranked number 4. So they have a test early, especially coming off a loss. But that team has grit. You saw it last season, and I believe you're going to see it even more this season as they figure out their chemistry. And then cross country, who doesn't get too much love, but should. Both the men and women's cross country teams won over the weekend. They won the LSU Invitational. So yes, it was at LSU. Jack Wallace and Emily Kiplimo won the men's relay, and Michaela Rose and Jenna Key won the women's relay. Michaela Rose, a name that you should be familiar with if you watched Valley Vision last cross-country season, breaking records left and right, doing some impressive stuff. Need I say it again, LSU across the board. Pretty good at sports.
Who would have thought?
School. All right, let's get into the fun part. Not that that stuff wasn't fun.
As we get into it, Carl Dunn says, "Let's go. Nuss first SEC start and showed the first half."
Yeah, the first half, Carl. I'm going to be honest, dude. What the hell? The entire LSU football team, staff, fan base owe a personal thank you to kicker Alex Herrera for choking. Because if he didn't choke, we were going to overtime, and I'm not sure that we came out with a win, which then would have put you at 1-2 on the season and 0-1 in SEC play. This team was not as good as LSU.
No.
Lenore Sellers is a game manager. They didn't establish a run game before this match with LSU. And you made it that close. As I said in the intro, I really hope that that was the worst game they play this season.
Oh, yeah. And they definitely need to get out of not scoring on that first drive. Because it is vital that we start that yesterday.
It has happened every single game where we cannot finish.
No.
You can't finish. We were at the, forgive me, I don't remember what time of the game it was. I was working while I was watching. I look up, we're on the pretty much the 2-yard line and we don't score. I was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Like, but you have matchups with Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Alabama. Like, they went into this game as if there was nothing on the line. We knew that this game, the pressure, and there should have been much more attention paid to the matchup that they were walking into. Yes, it's South Carolina. It's not one of your big hitters on the schedule. But you can't go into the first SEC game of the season acting like you don't give a shit. And it showed. Mm-hmm. That was such sloppy football. It was so bad. Self-inflicted penalties. Like, what?
Yeah. Oh, and then the fact that I feel like the only reason why they picked up and started playing like they know how to play is because of a true freshman, Caden, running back.
So, I talked about this on Friday, that it was going to be a quarterback duel because neither team had a running game. Well, they both kind of started to show a little bit. And I'll give it to LSU's defensive line. Not terrible. The defense in general. Wait till I read this box score because you're going to be appalled. It doesn't make sense. But let's stick with the offense for a second. You're telling me that Caden Durham, first off, he deserves all the flowers for stepping up. He played incredibly, and God knows we needed it because the offense couldn't figure it the hell out. Couldn't figure it out. I saw during the game somebody, I don't know if they put it on their story or tweeted it, they were like, Garrett and his receivers should be benched to get to know each other. Just go sit on the bench and have some conversations because this is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And I don't want to harp on what went wrong because they did end up winning and they pulled it off at the end and they came back from the 17-0 deficit. But to those people out there that look at me and say they won, they pulled it off, they have grit. No, the kicker missed the field goal that saved them from having to go into overtime to make ultimately more mistakes. Point blank.
Yeah.
I cannot believe how much just the effort was piss poor.
Yeah.
Like, it took them a second to get going. Freaking college game days there. Like, come on, man. Anyway, let's go to this box score so we can really, really look at this. I will give props to Nuss, though.
Yeah, he did show up. I'm proud of him.
He did well. He went 24 for 40, and I say well, not his best performance. He threw for 285 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. He did unfortunately throw that pick and lost a fumble. Bad snap, fumbled the ball. But the reason I want to give Garrett Nussmeier credit is because of his mindset. He so easily could have spiraled when shit wasn't working. They couldn't produce. There were a lot of just unfinished business and not scoring, not capitalizing on opportunities. And in the interview after, you know, somebody asked him about the pick, and he was like, yeah, I could have harped on it, but I decided, like, we're going to flush that and move forward. That is the mindset you have to have as a quarterback leading a team that is coming off of one of the best offenses in college football that has such high standards. You have to have a guy like that that isn't going to be a head case and can shake it and move forward. So I do want to commend him for that mindset and for being a leader and for finding a way to get the job, to do just enough to fall into the way of luck and win a game because the kicker missed a freaking field goal. God. Also, South Carolina fans running down the stadium to rush the field, heartbreaking for y'all, but I laughed my ass off when I saw a video of that. I was like, damn, that really sucks. Yeah. Like, could you imagine, like, in Tiger Stadium, you're, like, running down from the sections up to get close to the field, and then, bam, kicker missed. That poor kicker. No,
I feel so bad for him. But honestly, I feel like, I know it was a bit different, but their crowd showed out. And, like, at first I was like, maybe LSU is just not used to having a crowd that loud for the opposing team. But I'm just like, it's kind of the same at Death Valley. Like, it wasn't the pressure of them being at an away game or anything. I just feel like they just are figuring out their chemistry in a way.
Yeah.
But not in an SEC game. Like, you have to know.
And they are, and you do have to give them grace, but how much grace can you give? Yeah. Like, we're 3 weeks into the season. You've had the entire off season to work out the kinks. In game one, you played pretty good football, but, like, after the Nichols performance, you should have had a fire under your ass to be like, oh shit, we dropped the ball against an in-state opponent that should have been a blowout from the beginning. Mm-hmm. We should really pull things together and, like, just let me stop.
I saw this tweet, and it was like, just like how baseball couldn't have their phones. Y'all need to take away football's scooters. Have them walk.
I saw that too. Like, no scooters. Y'all walk in campus now. Yeah. And I want to give them their credit because they did come out with a win, right? And it was the second largest comeback win in program history on the road. So, like, that's a good feat, but it's not good enough. Not for the opponents that we're going to be facing down the road. Back to the box score. Caden Durham had 11 carries, 98 yards, averaged 8.9 yards per carry, and had not one, but 2 touchdowns. That's what we needed to see.
Yep.
We needed the run game to come alive. It wasn't, you thought after John Emery went out, it was going to be Josh Williams or it was going to be Caleb Jackson. And they had good little spurts, right? Caleb Jackson had 7 carries for 27 yards and Josh didn't pop off like that. Now your offense has a little bit more wiggle room and some more options.